thanks for joining Dyches Delicacies. This morning we're going to be making cream waffles with Magleby's vanilla syrup. So the first thing you're going to want to do is get your waffle iron all heated up, make sure it's nice and hot so that when your batter's ready, it's ready to go. We're going to start with 1 stick of butter or a half a cup of butter, and you're going to want to melt it so it can get mixed in really well. The next thing we need are 2 large eggs. I really like any recipe with butter. That's why these waffles are called cream waffles. That's what gives them that delicious creamy taste, is all this butter. Go ahead and just beat those eggs right into your butter. The next ingredient we need is 1 3/4 cups of milk. I'm gonna add that right here to my wet ingredients, to the butter and eggs. Okay, mix all these wet ingredients in really well. Okay, now we're ready to do our dry ingredients, and I'm going to start with 2 cups of all-purpose flour, to that I'm going to add 4 teaspoons of baking powder. I like to prepare this in this Pyrex that has the spout so that I can just pour it right into my waffle iron. Makes it a little bit easier. And then half of a teaspoon of salt. And then the final dry ingredient is 1 tablespoon of sugar. I'm just going to mix this all together. Incorporate all of those dry ingredients. Once they're all mixed, all we have to do is pour in the wet ingredients. Get all that butter out of there. Good. Just gonna mix this together now. Mix in all of that dry ingredients. And you're always going to want to add your wet ingredients to your dry ingredients. That's going to help you get rid of the lumps. You want your batter thicker than a pancake batter, but you don't want it so thick that you can't pour it. This is a good consistency right here. If it's too thick that you can't pour it, just add a little bit of milk and stir it until it's the right consistency. Or if it's a little too thin, just add like a tablespoon of flour, and that should thicken it right back up. Now we're going to add the batter to our waffle iron that's been sprayed with nonstick spray. Just pour it right in the center. You want to fill it about halfway, because once you pull this down, it's going to squish all that batter around. If your waffle iron doesn't have a timer or a light to tell you when they're finished, the way that you can tell if they're done is when this steam dissipates. So right now, the waffle iron is cooking out all of the liquid out of your waffles, and that's what all this steam is. So once the steam starts coming out, you know that your waffles are crispy and ready. Okay, so our waffles are ready. There's still a tiny bit of steam coming out, but you'll be able to tell the difference once it starts to slow down. And you can see here, they're ready. They're all evenly browned. That butter makes them have a delicious, crispy consistency, and the inside's nice and juicy and tender. When removing these, you're going to want to use a non-stick spatula or something that's not going to scratch your waffle iron. And here they are. Now for our vanilla syrup, the first thing that we need is 1 stick or half a cup of butter melted in a pan. You're going to want to use a big pan because we're going to boil this and it's going to expand a lot. To that, I'm going to add 1 cup of sugar. To that, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of corn syrup. Now you want to heat this on a medium-low heat so that we don't burn the sugars, or it's gonna make it taste really bad. Okay, and to that we're gonna add 1/2 of a cup of buttermilk. This is gonna make it so creamy. Now we're gonna wanna heat this until it starts to boil. And then we're gonna continue to stir it so that the sugars don't burn. Okay, as you can see, it's starting to boil now. Now we're gonna let this boil for 1 minute, and we need to continue to stir it so that we don't burn all those sugars in there. Now our syrup's been boiling for 1 minute, and now it's time to add the vanilla and the baking soda, but to do that we need to take it off the heat. Vanilla has a really low flash point, meaning that if you put it in while something's boiling, it's just gonna burn it off and you don't have any vanilla flavor. A lot of vanilla, because it's vanilla syrup, 1 tablespoon of vanilla. I use the good stuff, the real vanilla. Has such a nice flavor. Mix that in. And then the final ingredient is baking soda. This makes your syrup bubbly and frothy. It just adds a really cool consistency to it. I'm going to add 1/2 of a teaspoon, so not very much. You can see how instantly that baking soda changed the consistency of the syrup. And even though it's not on the heat, it's causing it to bubble up and make a nice, creamy, frothy consistency. This is really good syrup. Stir that in really good. Now all that's left is to top our delicious cream waffles with our vanilla buttermilk syrup. This syrup is good on everything. Pancakes, waffles, French toast, ice cream. The sky's the limit. Syrup's good on everything. I hope you like this recipe. It's become a staple in our home. We eat waffles at least once a week. We rarely have cereal. So tune into my other videos too that I'm doing this month about breakfast, and you will literally cut cereal out of your breakfast meal plans because these are so quick and easy and delicious. Your family is going to love them and ask for them every day. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more deliciousness.